All right, welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey have signed a new joint defense agreement in Makkah. The three countries say the pact is rooted in their historical ties, Islamic solidarity and shared strategic interests. The agreement states that its aim is to strengthen collective deterrence against any act of aggression. Most significantly, it declares that an armed attack on any one of the three states shall be regarded as an attack on them all, marking a new level of defense commitment between Riyadh, Ankara and Islamabad. While the joint statement does not name any specific country, the timing of the pact has fueled speculation about its regional implications, particularly amidst continuing tensions in West Asia. It also raises questions about how Iran will view this new security arrangement and whether it could signal the emergence of a new strategic Islamic bloc. While for India, the development will be closely watched. New Delhi enjoys a strong relationship with Saudi Arabia, has long-standing differences with Pakistan and has had diplomatic frictions with Turkey on its support to Pakistan. The big question now is whether this pact remains a symbolic political declaration or evolves into a deeper military alliance with wider regional consequences. Let's talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Ambassador Sushil Singhal, former diplomat, Major General G.G. Dwivedi, Defence and Geopolitical Expert, Major General Ashwini Sivach, Defence and Geopolitical Expert, joins us on the show. And last but not the least, Group Captain Dr. M.J. Augustine, Vinod, former Indian Air Force officer, fighter jet pilot of the MiG-21, also with us on the program. Thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of this conversation. Well, this is something to watch out for, General Dwivedi. In light of what's happening in West Asia, yes, this agreement could send a message to Iran as well. But from what we are seeing, that Iran has already known this, it's already seen this, that regardless of this pact, there are interests that the Americans also have in these countries, which Iran could exploit. What does this mean for India is what should be our concern here. How is India going to look upon this? And are these three countries actually serious? If Pakistan has conducts a terrorist strike in India and India, responds back with Operation Sindoor 2.0, are we going to have to fight Saudi Arabia and Turkey too?
Oh, well, Vineet, firstly, thanks for having me on your show. Well, you have raised, I think, a couple of very pertinent questions, and I'll answer them one at a time. Firstly, it was not totally unexpected because last year, I think September 17, when there was a pact signed between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, it was quite expected that some more will join the alliance and the tent is going to expand. That's exactly what has happened. Now, we need to see that what is the Pakistan vision. Pakistan have been working for decades to chalk out a framework or to structure a framework for the Islamic security, which is a larger, than the regional perspective. Now, also see the composition, because Saudi Arabia and Pakistan already had a, pact, but now with Turkey joining in, it makes a synergized, optimal, I would say, potential that can be utilized by these three countries. Saudi Arabia has finance, Turkey has very strong industrial-based technology, and Pakistan has a strong military and only Islamic nation which has a nuclear capability. Now, this is going to disturb the security dynamics in the Gulf region because there are other countries also which are going to join the tent, and that is Qatar will be there, then we'll have Kuwait, possibly UAE may not, because UAE is already part of the I2U2, that is India, Israel, US and UAE. But the point is, you are asked two very pertinent questions here. One is how the Iran is going to react. Well, Iran sees it as a Sunni pact against the Shia Iran. So this is going to bring Iran further closer to China, to Russia, and also it is going to further ensure that its three non-state actors, that is Houthis, the Hamas, and Hezbollah, are further strengthened, and is going to now build its capability along with the support of Russia and China. For India, well, for India, Pakistan is an all-weather, I would say all-weather adversary and enemy, and therefore is new capability that is acquiring. The enlarging the strategic space definitely has implications for us because during Op Sindoor, Turkey and other countries like even Saudi Arabia, they had a muted response. Now that with this pact, as it states that aggression against one will be aggression against the other, I think they'll be more vocal and also possibly they will be also not only political but certain military actions may be on the card. And my last point is let's not forget that even Bangladesh, what is happening today? Bangladesh is almost in the orbit of China and they are very close to the Pakistanis and Pakistan chief had made a statement. The next frontier will be not only west along Pakistan but also along the eastern front of India. So we need to take a watch. All I can say, Vineet, we need to take a very close look. The architecture of security architecture of West Asia definitely is going to undergo a change, and this new development cannot be wished away. It has to be followed very, very closely because ramification not only regional but it's larger than the region and particularly impacts India. Vineet.
Group Captain Augustine, the confusing part is why Pakistan? Why would Saudi Arabia want to ally with Pakistan? They owe them money, right? They don't want their citizens going to Saudi Arabia. Uh, Economically also, and in terms of clout also, Pakistan does not have any say in any matter. Is it just the nuclear arsenal? Is it just that nuclear word that is affiliated with Pakistan helping Saudi Arabia, to let Pakistan tag along? Or do you think they must have done this on the insistence of Turkey?
Vineet, thanks for having me over. It's a good question. At the outset, let me tell you, and I'll add from where General Sivach left. I think Vineet, Pakistan is bypassing the international norms of not selling your nuclear technology and thereby getting sanctioned. So when you have a pact like this, if you attack one country, it is like you attacking the other. Is a leaf that they have taken from NATO Article 5. From NATO Article 5, they have completely picked it up now. If any international organization, especially the West, comes and points a finger at them, then, firstly, they can't because they themselves have a pact like that within the NATO countries, which is Article 5. That is one. Second, let's not read between the lines and let's look at it as it appears on the paper. It willy-nilly means Turkey and Saudi Arabia are Pakistan, which means if you attack Turkey or if you attack Saudi, then you're attacking Pakistan, and Pakistan is completely free to use its nuclear arsenal against the enemies of these two countries. And currently, Saudi is feeling heat from Iran. So is Turkey. So my only thought process is: are they doing it in a hurried manner to sort of give themselves a security umbrella against Iranian attack, which is due anytime? They have been attacking Saudi for a long time, and which is due anytime on Turkey. And Pakistan, remember, like the general said, is one of only nuclear armed member amongst the three. And it is also rumored that the strategic assurance that Pakistan has given Saudi, and when Saudi got attacked by Iran, Pakistan didn't come in support of Saudi in attacking Iran because they themselves are brokering some kind of a peace accord or peace resolution, or at least ceasefire, indicates to me that what they have signed in the document is not at conventional level. And I repeat, the document that these two people have signed, the Saudi and Pakistan have signed, is not for conventional warfare. That itself is sending shivers down my spine. Now, when you add, like General said, add more countries to this umbrella, and what they are going to sign in closed doors, which is not privy to you and me, if it is going to be for only a nuclear triad assurance, then God help this blue planet. Because any attack on Qatar, if Qatar joins up, or currently on Saudi Arabia, where it is unprecedented and Saudi Arabia wants to use a nuclear option, it is available for a gun on high earth from Pakistan, a mercenary called Pakistan. It is, if you look at in the a broader view, it is like you hiring a hitman. How is it any different from anybody hiring a hitman with a longer scope and a better weapon, sniper weapon? How is it any different? So the international community has to come together before this spirals beneath out of control. This spirals out of probably they may have to revisit NATO document itself, because currently NATO document, as it looks like, is the one which is holding West back in questioning the gun on hire, which is Pakistan, on these countries. Thirdly, what if, Vineet, in this document, and I'm asking this question because you and I or nobody has read this document, what if there is a technology transfer that is ingrained or inbuilt into this document? What if? That is my question, Vineet.
General Sivaj, are you as worried as Group Captain Augustine about this pact? The Iranians don't seem to care.
No, we need no deny the fact. As to first, we must analyze why this pact. No doubt about it, all these regional countries in Middle East, they were once upon a time totally dependent on security architecture from US. And after what has happened recently, they have started feeling vulnerable. And Pakistan has emerged as one of the net security provider. And that is why you find the defense agreement which initially signed between Saudis and Pakistani, now it has been enlarged to Turkey also. Now, if you see all three countries, they bring a collective security paradigm, bringing each country has its own plus and strength. Now, if you see Saudi Arabia, it has got resources and financial muscle. Now, as far as the Turkey is concerned, its industrial military complex is huge. It is very good in producing drones as well as the naval armaments. Now, if you see Pakistan, it is one country which has a missile as well as a nuclear weapon which can act as a deterrence. It also has a strong military power, and also it gives a strategic depth. So, this three altogether is a collective framework which is going to be called as a basically Muslim NATO. And why it is called a Muslim NATO is because Article 5 very correctly brought out, also invoked in this, which says that attack on one country will be attack in all three countries. So this is going to be a challenge, one to Iran, because Iran is the one which is now fighting this war in Middle East, and Saudis are basically on receiving end, and so can be Turkey tomorrow. Now, so this, in case if that is Article 5 is applied, then as it is, Pakistan has sent a brigade plus strength in Saudi Arabia, and also it has sent one squadron. So therefore, first and foremost, it will have an impact on the regional security, and Iran has to think 10 times now. Second thing, very important is what is its impact on India. Now remember that when in Operation Sindoor, the basically Turkey has come openly in support of Pakistan. But with this Article 5, then he will openly even support militarily. It's only that initially he was giving weapon and intelligence sharing. So this is a cocktail which is dangerous for India, and we have to think now whether we will go more closer to Israel now, because there is a strategic defense pact which is there, and possibly we will enlarge it, because you cannot take lightly Turkey, because it has a huge industrial military complex, its intelligence network, and second is a part of NATO, and it has got a very good training standard. So therefore, if it openly comes in support of Pakistan in case Operation Sindoor 2.0 take place, we have to think. So the whole architecture has changed, and very rightly brought out by my co-panelists, that it's not going to stop here. Possibly Qatar and Kuwait are in line. So this will be a complete Muslim NATO where they will be depending more on the regional security rather than depending on US. But it has a sort of a lot of impact and implication. One, regional, because that is basically against Iran, and it is also one must understand till now this is Sunni dominated Muslim countries. When other countries join it, we will see it. But as on today, India needs to be very alert and alive, and we have to see as to how this unfolds. As on today, the parameters are still unknown. But if in case Article 5, like NATO, is basically used in this also, it is a cause of concern for India. Vinny.
All right. Ambassador Singhal, how are you looking at the situation? Is this something that India can also take up with the Saudis diplomatically?
Well, Vinny, thank you for having you. Well, it's a very interesting topic, but I cannot say that I'm surprised because it was in the making for quite some time. And the basic architecture was there when the Pakistan and US, they signed this, sorry, not US, Saudi Arabia, when they signed this agreement. And as I see it, I think it's on the initiative is from the Saudi Arabia, not Turkey. Turkey is the is joined later uh, of getting this fortune. Saudi Arabia, for obvious reasons, they are looking for they cannot trust U.S. any longer. They have seen and for quite some time, and Iran attacks has really proven that they cannot collide. So they are now working on their own security architecture. And for that, Pakistan, I think, suits them because it's their client stage. They owe them money. They are basically the economic lifeline is being thrown by Saudi Arabia to Pakistan, so they have to do their bidding. So I find that it's very convenient for Saudi Arabia to have Pakistan as a partner in defense. And if you as we were as General Swaj talking about that, Pakistan has been forced to send a brigade to Saudi Arabia and also few aircraft for the defense of Saudi Arabia. Whether they are actively participating or not, I don't know. I cannot comment on that. But they have been forced to, despite the fact that they were not keen to get involved, but they were forced by Saudi Arabia. So the point I was just trying to bring in that because client state I was talking about. The the entry of Turkey, it makes it very interesting because on the other side we have a UAE which is not any longer part of the partnership in partnership with Saudi Arabia. What they were doing in Yemen, Mali, and some other places. So now they are at loggerheads, and the entry of Turkey makes this grouping very interesting, and I think it's not there are so many wheels within wheels here. As far as India is concerned, I do not see any problem at this moment. We have to be watchful, but it has long-term strategic implications for us, particularly in the Arabian Sea. Because what I see is that because they're talking about joint exercises, joint intelligence sharing, and weapon production. I mean, it's not out, but this is what the media is reporting that they will be talking about. So they'll be trying to coordinate their positions. So India has to now look at how to strengthen this position in Arabian Sea because it's very vital for us to have sort of control. At this moment, we have much better, equipment. We have our navy, which is very strong. We have the aircraft carriers, nation. So I don't see the problem at the moment, but it has a long-term implications for us,
All right, sir.
which we have to watch out. So we have to look for additional partners. But as far as the talking to Saudi Arabia, certainly we'll be talking to them. And Saudi Arabia, is an important partner for us when it comes to energy, to investments, and Indian diaspora.
All
Because
right, sir.
So for us, for them and for us both, it's very important to have this partnership going, and Saudi Arabia will be mindful of that.
Sure enough. So
So
you've made some stellar points. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. But nevertheless, appreciate everybody who joined in and spoke about this evolving situation. We'll be right back.